And we are back with another episode of the Watch and Cut channel. Welcome back. And today we got a cool episode of a knife I got in the mail.
Did you get that memo?
And this is a long time in the making, actually. So let's bring it out. We've got something from the Grimsmos. So over the years, I've bought a few things from these guys. Starting off with... Actually, this was the first purchase right here. Now, in this box, and I brought out the boxes because, yeah, I know I broke my little thing right here. But the boxes have changed, and I always thought that the boxes were really cool with the Grimsmo. So you can kind of see what the original Grimsmo packaging was. This is the Grimsmo Norseman, a knife that they're probably most... I would say most well known for is this one. It's got this really unique blade shape. It's all CNC machine cut. It's RWL 34. Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool knife. I'll have to do another full review on this guy at some point. I did it on my old channel on some old content that I deleted because I wanted to revisit all these knives. But yeah, this knife deserves a good full review. So anyways, kind of long story short, this is the infamous Norseman everybody was talking about back in the days, made popular by our good buddy Nick Shabat.
Little ridge, kind of hollow cut in there. And, you know, I don't entirely understand it. It could be an...
And, yeah, it is a great knife, no doubt about it. The looks are polarizing. Some have referred to it, such as myself, as a horse phallic looking blade. But it's quite useful, actually, with the way that it's ground and everything. So I carry this and use this often. I like this knife a lot. One of the things that they're really well known for, of course, is this crazy smooth action that these guys... yeah, they're known for that.
Fucking A.
So, the Norseman. I've had this guy for a couple years. Actually, the story is I didn't want it. I didn't like the way it looked. So, for years, I kind of held off on buying one. And eventually, when they became easier to purchase, I just kind of, let's go see what this hype is all about. And it was good enough that I actually ended up keeping it, and I do really like it. I think it was one of those I had to kind of own it and hold it to appreciate it. Still kind of a really unique looking knife nonetheless.
That's fucking weird.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here.
Sorry.
Another thing that they make is the pens. And again, I want to iterate how cool the packaging is. You can see this pen case right here is actually magnetic shut. This is so cool. Talk about the details. I mean, the knife packaging was really cool. It comes with the nano oil and the tool, but look at this. This is a full wooden box that's been engraved on the inside. It's got a spare refill there for your pen. It's all been slotted to fit it perfectly like a little puzzle piece, and it's magnetically held shut. I mean, talk about cool. Here's the Saga pen. This is another thing that they're pretty well known for. These are really cool, guys. I really like these as far as an everyday usable pen. It's very comfortable, ergonomic and everything like that. And it's got this kind of cool little fidgety slip on and off type deal for the pen, which is fun. You can kind of spin it, rotate it, do whatever you want. But yeah, and it's not a full-size pen. It's kind of compact-ish. But close to a full-size pen, which I like that. I kind of tend to lean towards more of the full-size pens myself. So that's kind of cool. I mean, look, you can even see the cutout for the pocket clip in there. Wow, that's really a lot of detail, and it's really appreciated when you spend that kind of money on stuff. So What is left on their menu? Well, this is the last model that I have never bought. I've always wanted one, and let's just get right to it.
Do it. Lay it out right here. Do it. Do it.
So you guys probably already guessed that if I said something that I wanted I haven't had yet, it's probably a Rask, because I have the pen and the Norseman. Those are the three things they make. And yes, it is actually way overdue.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Look at this packaging, guys. You got the Norse guy right here. Now, the reason why you have this pocket right here is because the nano oil and all the stuff is right in here now on the backside. And you also still get your sticker, right, if you want that, and your certificate of authenticity. This is a really recent one. This is 2768. And we went with the kind of a gold style type anodization. There's the birthday of the knife, which ironically is my mother's birthday. Interesting. So yeah, there we have it. So, you know, I've held a Rask before, and I've put it up against a few other things that I already owned in my head. Now you're going to see this beautiful bronze finish disappear real fast, because that is what Grimsmo anodization does. I'm having a hard time with that word today. I don't know what the heck's going on. But yeah, you can already see just slight fingerprints. It's gonna change. So yeah, kind of one of those things, you know. I love the bright goldness of it. And one kind of thing that's unusual about this particular Rask is that it's a smooth body, and it doesn't have the different types of milling. Now there was one, the dragon pattern one, that I was really interested in getting, but it was more of a rose gold color, and I was not feeling that. And then, you know, they do make kind of like a linear pattern or a starburst pattern with lines milled in, all kinds of different things. But I always thought, you know, when things are sterile, sometimes less is more. And I kind of felt like this ended up being the case in this situation. There is so much, yet so little to this knife. But yeah, I really like this thing. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what there is to say to not like about this knife. So to start off with, we've got a really nice, actually fairly sizable blade. You got a little bit of a sharpening choil right here where it terminates, which is nice. The Grimsmo do a really nice job with the edge bevel. And this blade is about 3.6 inches long, and it's made of RWL 34. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's go ahead and just get some specs since we're doing tabletop on this particular guy. So let's see here. What do we got for blade length? Blade length, I'm actually coming out at more like 3.5, to be honest with you. On the cutting edge, we've got about 3.1 inches of cutting edge. So yeah, you know, sizable knife, but kind of still in that medium size knife realm for me. Maybe on the larger side of the medium size knives. Maybe this is where the crossover of the threshold is. But a knife that I definitely don't mind carrying in any kind of situation. Put it that way. It's definitely sizable enough for anything I think you would throw at it. Minus some, you know, special operations, military stuff, of course. But it does have a bit of delicateness about it, but it feels durable. And I really, really like that. I like the fact that he took the time to chamfer all the edges on the flipper tab. I like how he didn't really, you know, reduce it in any way where it's too small to really use it. As a matter of fact, I'll show you right here. As a flipper, this thing works really, really nice. The ramp is in the right kind of geometry for you to get a positive lock on it, and just kind of pull back and the knife just kind of fires out. The detent is a little bit stronger, I think, than most standard knives per se, but yeah, it's not hard to overcome, so there's no problem there. It's just a little bit more firm. You got the typical Norseman guy pivot over here, you know, the guy with the hat here, the Viking. And on the blade, there's really no markings on the side of it, which is really, really cool. It's nice and sterile. Otherwise, on the top here, you're going to see your serial number. You're going to see the blade steel right up here, the RWL34, and their model, which is Rask. So I liked how they tucked it up here. And if you're looking at the knife from a side profile, there's really nothing going on, kind of really disrupting the whole look of it. So that's a beautiful thing right there. You kind of have a little light anodizing of a gold, I would say, very mild gold on the standoffs here and on the hardware. What's cool about these is that these are made in-house. Everything about this knife is made in-house. And that's one of the things that the Grimsmo's is most well known for, is their in-house approach. Their heat treats all in-house. And speaking of this RWL34, you know, yeah, they could have gone with an M390 or something like that, but I think RWL34 was a great choice. They seem to like it. It does finish really nice, as you can see. I can pick up fingerprints too. It's a steel that can kind of do everything fairly well, but a master of none, if you will. And it's kind of, if you want to tier blade steels, maybe it's like a high-end mid-tier steel. But I hate tiering steels because that's really not the idea of them. It's really what's the intended use of the tool. That's really why you use the steel that you use on certain knives. Is really it comes down to what's the idea behind this thing. Is it some novice that's going to have to resharpen it?
What is this?
Is it a tool that's expected to see a lot of abuse and, you know, be like twisted, where you need something tougher like CPM 3V, or perhaps you need something, you know, like Maximate, where you just want pure edge retention because for the mere fact that, you know, all it is it's a knife, it's going to cut boxes all day. So that's fair, you know, that's the different tiers of knife steels do different things. CPM 154 is another great example of a knife steel that custom knife makers still use quite a bit to this day because it finishes nice, it performs really well, and overall it's just a great steel. It's not very expensive either, but that doesn't mean it does anything less than what it does, right? So kind of same story with RWL34. It's been used and around for a very, very long time. It's relatively tough. I mean, people use it on fixed blades. It's a good all-around steel as far as I'm concerned. So that kind of covers the blade, if you will. Unlike the Norseman, this one does have a also really usable kind of blade profile, but you know, not that the Norseman's not usable per se, but this just looks more like a knife, right? Like you got a tip to penetrate material.
That's what she said.
Did you plan that?
No.
You can just pull the knife and drag it through, which I really like that as well about it. The anodizing is really sweet. I love the way that they do their ano. But maybe a little stonewash behind wouldn't hurt, because that way the color would probably just stay the same as it always does. Even my blue Norseman will get hints of pinks and purples when I start putting finger oils on it. And, you know, that is something that you're like, after handling this thing all day, you're like, wow, it just doesn't look as vibrant, right? But that's just a silly nitpick. It is what it is. So another thing I really like about this knife, you can tell it is incredibly thin, like incredibly thin. So what do we got? 0.4 inches thick. For a really nicely well-sized knife. So I like that about it as well. The weight might be another factor a lot of people want to kind of know about this new V2 Rask, which is something I forgot to mention earlier. Yes, this is a V2. Version 2, I believe, came out around 2021. 3.1 ounces for a 3.5 inch blade. Pretty good. Is kind of where some knife reviewers will say is that Goldilocks zone, right? 1 inch per 1 ounce is like a nice weight for a tool. That actually to me is not quite true.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with fly, think.
I think it's a perception. Some people like a more substantial feeling tool. They like it that way because it feels tough, it feels rugged, it feels like you can't break it very easily. And some people like finer, more delicate things. You know, things that are very gentle about their approach. Things that are maybe very tight in tolerance and high performance pieces, but maybe not the type of thing you want to pry between a door, right? So there are also other uses for knives. And this, I think, is just a great everyday type carry knife. It's definitely high end. Speaking of high end, the price on these guys are about $1,000.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
They can range anywhere from 990 to this one was like 1040, I think, and you know, and on and so forth. But that's kind of the range on this V2 Rask in kind of a standard configuration like this one. They do all kinds of cool anodizations. Different milling patterns on the handle. What I really like is the way that they did the inset on the lock bar. As a matter of fact, you can see the lock bar insert right there. I believe it's LC200N is what they're using for that. And it does have an over travel stop. You can see that right here. So on a thin knife like this, I think an over travel stop is a great idea. Not necessary unless you're the type of guy that's just gonna, you know, like just torque the crap out of it every time you do that. But on a knife like this, I mean, you really don't need to. It's just, it does all the work for you. All you need to do is just tell it what to do, and it will do exactly what you want it to do. Beautiful knife. Honestly, guys, I just really, really like this if you haven't figured that out already. Another cool thing I really want to mention about this knife is going to be the ergonomics. The ergonomics are great, man. I love how this knife feels in the hand. Everything lands just in the right place. I got my thumb for lateral pressure, and I got a bit of a swell on the handle to kind of capture my hand. And it's not like a little mild swell, but it's not over the top, kind of like on Jim Skelton's Caladan. It's got like a really crazy flare right here, right? Almost too much, to the point where it, even with chamfering, it's kind of digging to the side of your hands. This is perfect. You really feel it capturing your hand, but it's relatively neutral enough to fit most hands and just feel really comfortable. And that may not be the case for everybody, but for my medium to large size glove hands, this is actually perfect. I really like this. If you also haven't noticed, it's got crazy action, like wow. And that's because they're using a beautiful set of tolerances and, you know, some very nice ceramic ball bearings. So now I kind of wanted to do another size comparison because we do have the Grimsmo Norseman right here, which we'll keep out. Another one that I thought was actually the best comparison knife beyond the size comparison was the Holt Spectre. I think I'm going to put these up against each other on a video at some point. And then another one that also was kind of in the similar ballpark, although the handle's much smaller, which is kind of incredible, but the blade side is also very similar, which is the Shirogorov Neon Zero. So yeah, kind of gives you an idea of where this knife is. This kind of sticks to the medium, then you're getting kind of medium, large, and then now you're crossing into the large knife territory. So it kind of keeps it right in that spectrum, right in between medium and large, which I think is pretty cool. So that's kind of giving you an idea of what to expect if you decide to buy one of these. Nice size knife, not too big, not too small.
That's what she said. Oh, no, not that. Just come on, you guys, let's do it.
Just right, in my opinion. So the Rask. Honestly, in conclusion, I think you should go out and get one. That's my conclusion. I really love the knife, guys. And, you know, there is so many different configurations and things like that. And if you're like me and over the years you really wanted one of these, because I think they came out in like 2017, if I remember right, or something like that. I've wanted one all along. And Norsemans were the things that were just a little bit easier to get at that time. These were just, give me your email and we'll call you if you come up on the lottery type deal.
You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
And I just came up now for one of these. And I've been trying for, wow, many years. So kind of cool. If you guys get a chance, though, visit their website once in a while, because I did see a couple just for sale on the website as available without one of their codes. So as a matter of fact, that's how I bought the Norseman. It was kind of that same deals when they were first starting to introduce the Norseman as a knife you could buy right off their website without being selected on a lottery. So they are doing that with these. Make sure you go check that out if you want one of these. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Thumbs up, all that good stuff. Thumbs down if you think it's thumbs down. And make sure you hit that bell so you know when new content comes out and about. So when I spend a little bit more time with this guy, we'll do a full, cool, edited video with lots of live action of some sort. And I'll catch you guys all on the next one.